It's time now to check your money with America's Money Maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, what's on the menu today?
Well, George, before I get started, there are three big things I want to go through on a congratulations to make sure that we don't forget to mention these things. And the first one is congratulations to the state of Georgia for becoming a focal point in American politics. They are now, I would say, probably considered to be a true battleground state, and double congratulations to their newly reelected, I love saying this, U.S. Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock.
Was Georgia on your mind this past week?
Georgia. Yes, Georgia was definitely on my mind all week. My next congratulations happens to go to the state of South Carolina. Do you know why I'm congratulating them, George?
I can't wait.
They are now, at least based on what I read and saw and heard over this week,
yes,
going to be the national or first primary state for the Democratic Party coming up in the 2024 election cycle. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to the party for making a bold move to try and broaden the demographic scope of what our American politics is. But here's the congratulations that I heard the other day that woke me up first thing in the morning. And that congratulations is to, and I want to say not only congratulations, but hallelujah. Britney Griner, NBA basketball star, was released from the Russian prison. And I know that everybody was surprised, but the State Department and all the people behind the scenes worked really hard to make sure that she was released and is safely now back with family. But George, I want to remind you also, think about this. We went through Cyber Monday, which we hit $11.3 billion in sales, which was roughly about a 5.5% jump from last year's number. We went through, what was that? Black Friday, $9.1 billion, okay, as far as sales on that Friday following the Thanksgiving holiday. And we just finished Giving Tuesday. And Giving Tuesday was a record in charitable giving and charitable causes, as far as those things that were empowered through the giving of the American people, at $3.1 billion. That happens to be a 15%, not a 5, but a 15% increase from the year before. And this year they are actually celebrating 10 years since that whole effort started back in 2012, because the YMCA on 92nd Street, isn't that your city? YMCA on 90?
The 92nd Street Y is not the YMCA. It's just called 92nd Street Y.
Excuse me. I want to make sure I get that right, because I added MCA when I saw it just says 92nd Street Y.
Right, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay. Okay, I think I got some more news that I need to add here.
I can tell you right now. So the YMCA, as we know, the Young Men's Christian Association.
Right.
But the 92nd Street Y is of a different faith and heritage. So that's why it's called the 92nd Street Y.
Okay. All right, then. So the 92nd Street Y started this effort back in 2012. And after about 8 or 9 years, they finally formed an organization called Giving Tuesday, which is actually a separate entity these days. But the fact that we hit $3.1 billion, a 15% increase, really speaks to the heart of the country. But it also speaks to another question that I'm going to kind of throw out there, and that is, where is the recession? Each one of those events was a record-setting event. Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and Giving Tuesday. So I'm looking for the economic challenges. We'll come back that we're supposed to be facing. But here's the thing that I want to also make sure that we remind everyone that you still have time with your charitable and philanthropic desires to dig deeper and empower some additional charities through these 3 letters. And I spoke to this last year. I'm going to see if anybody remembers this. The 3 letters are Q, C, D. Do you happen to remember what that stands for?
I'm trying. You got me.
Q, C, D. Those 3 letters, qualified charitable distributions.
Oh, okay.
There is a special category, and this is not specific advice concerning your taxes. We want you to reach out to your own tax provider and tax preparer as far as how this will apply to you. But in general, remember, qualified charitable distributions are distributions that come from your 401k plans or your TSA plans or your IRAs because you have reached the age for required minimum distribution. If you recall, George, required minimum distributions come from qualified plans because you have deferred your taxes year after year after year. And once you reach a certain age, you have to start taking out the minimum distribution in order to meet the IRS requirements for distributions and payment of those taxes that have not been paid over the years. Now, and you might be in the situation, though, where a QCD, qualified charitable distribution, works for you because, George, in this case, you will not have to pay taxes on that distribution up to $100,000 of the distribution under the qualified charitable distribution category if you transfer those funds from the IRA or qualified plan directly to the charity that you were trying to
that's interesting.
benefit.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to insist on is that if you happen to fall into the category where you don't really want, and I have this happen all the time, clients say, Vicki, what am I going to do with this money? I don't need this money right now. All it's going to do is create a tax burden for me this year. Then think about reaching out to a qualified, and understand what I said, a qualified charity, and making a QCD, qualified charitable distribution, through the use of your required minimum distributions. Reach out to your tax preparer and the charity, because there are particular forms and ways that this has to be done, but you still have time up until 12/31 of this year to make that happen. Take advantage of empowering your charities and take advantage of the tax code to reduce your taxable income. But before I close, George, I have a couple other things I want to say. First of all, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And also, please don't forget that Paul Whelan, a U.S. Marine veteran who was not involved in this exchange, he was sentenced to 16 years in 2018.
You got to go back, Vicki, and talk about the exchange you're talking about, because
he was not included in the exchange as far as the Russian exchange that was done to release Britney Griner.
Thank you.
Okay. And he's still there in Russia serving out his sentence. So we need to continue to pray for his release and continue to have the State Department to work diligently for his release. So do not forget that Paul Whelan is still there. As a reminder also, George, one of the final things to say here is that the Black History Month Cabaret for Brackens Financial Solutions Network and the Central New York Jazz Foundation is on February 26th. This is the time to get your tickets. Call the cnyjazz.org office, CNY Jazz here in Syracuse, New York. Again, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If you have questions, you can direct those to info@brackensfsn.com or call us at 315-930-4499. This has been an action-packed week. I thank you all for listening and for viewing, and I will say our plate is now full.
All right. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's Money Maven.